No football fan should ever leave home to attend a game and never make it back. The tragic death of Gabriele Sandri was a watershed moment. In Italian football, in the midst of a very tense and long-standing issue between ultras groups and the police. The tragic story begins on November 10, 2007. It is around 9 p.m. Gabriele is at home with his father, Giorgio. The father, knowing his son's passion, invites him not to leave the next morning, but to rest and watch the game Inter and Lazio from the home sofa, thus avoiding the away day. In fact, Gabbo's evening promises to be challenging. First, a beer with friends at the Excalibur pub, then to work as a DJ at the Piper Club. Gabbo DJ, as he is known by his stage name, is quite well known in the world of clubs and parties in Rome. The evening at Piper is just fine. He plays the last track at 4:30 in the morning, then takes a shower at home and then runs back to the Excalibur. He meets up with 4 of his mates from Curva Nord Lazio and gets into a metallic grey Renault Scenic to go to Milano. Just enough time to send a phone message to Lorenzo De Silvestri, Lazio player at that time, to whom he writes, "Dai hello, I've just finished playing, as usual, leaving to lead you to victory, always with you." And then fall asleep in the backseat. 6 hours by car before entering the San Siro, or rather, so it should have been. Unfortunately, the story of Gabbo from this moment becomes a tragic one. The 5 men in fact opt for a quick stop at the Auto Grill towards Firenze. However, in the same service area there are 5 other boys from Rome on the road, but these are not from Lazio but from Juventus, members of the Juventus Club of Rome, and on their way to Parma. The 2 groups recognize each other, study each other, and as soon as the coffee is finished in the parking lot, a bad joke sets off the spark. 40 seconds of madness, screams, shoves, kicks, and punches. In the gas station on the other side of the road, there are 4 officers who have just stopped 2 suspicious cars. One of the policemen, Luigi Spaccarotella, attracted by the turmoil created on the other side of the road, climbs on top of a dirt about 2 meters high, ordering the troublemakers at the motorway restaurant to disperse. Within a few seconds, Lazio and Juventus Ultras are in the car headed for the exit of the service station. Gabriele is in the central seat of the rear 3, squeezed between his friends Simone and Federico. They are leaving, but in the meantime on the other side of the road, after a few threatening screams, Spaccarotella takes out his Beretta from the holster, takes aim for about 10 seconds towards that Renault Scenic with 5 civilians on board, and 66 meters away he fires the shot. That bullet, caliber 9, hits Gabriele's neck. Without even time to say a word, Gabbo is gone. This is what happened to Gabriele. The rest is fiction. As soon as the news of Gabbo's death started to be confirmed by the media, the rivalries at that time between the Italian ultras groups ended for a while. The match between Inter and Lazio was cancelled by the Italian Football Federation, and also the federation delayed games by 10 minutes as a mark of respect to Sandri. In the meantime, Serie A game between Atalanta and AC Milan was abandoned due to rioting sparked by Sandri's killing. Curva Nord Bergamo felt that the game should not have been going ahead, so they forcefully tried to get onto the pitch to have the game abandoned. They ultimately succeeded. Authorities decided to cancel the late game between Roma and Cagliari, which was already considered at risk, but riots began outside the Stadio Olimpico, where hooligans attacked city policemen, damaged cars and motorcycles, and set on fire a police bus. Later in the night, nearby police offices and the headquarters of the Italian Olympic Committee were attacked by hundreds of people. Gabbo's funeral was a painful one, especially for all the ultras in Italy. Thousands of ultras from various teams in Italy, including Lazio's rivals such as Curva Sud Roma, were present to say goodbye to Gabriele. The images of his comrades crying and a multitude of people gathered there showed the whole of Italy that the ultras are divided by colors, but united by mentality. Scarves from various groups being left on his coffin as a sign of respect. Lazio will return to the field against Parma in a semi-empty Stadio Olimpico and saddened by the loss of Gabriele Sandri. The football match is decided by Fabio Firmani, a close friend of Gabriele like Lorenzo De Silvestri, with a goal in the 90th minute. The embrace of the players and fans to the flag of Sandri remains one of the most beautiful and exciting scenes in the history of this sport. Fast forward 4 months to March 2008, and there was a Derby della Capitale to be played at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. This was the first Rome derby since Sandri's death, and the events that took place prior to kickoff can only be described as powerful and moving. Just before the players were due to come out to start the game, a group of people made their way along the touchline down towards Lazio's Curva Nord, flanked by media and photographers. There were club delegates from both sides present, but most importantly, there were 5 key individuals who were leading the group. Roma's captain, Francesco Totti, Lazio's captain, Tommaso Rocchi, Gabriele Sandri's brother, Cristiano, and a prominent leader from both Lazio and Roma's ultras groups. The gathering of these 5 individuals to lay a wreath and hug a picture of Sandri was a show of unity and solidarity between the two fiercest rivals. Curva Sud Roma displayed a message in front of Curva Nord Lazio, showing their solidarity with Sandri and Lazio, putting their eternal hatred to one side in a showing of sadness and respect. Tears know no color, Gabbo. Every year on November 11th, we remember that this was the day when the songs were stopped by bullets, and the pain of ultras reminded us that tears know no colors. Gabriele's memory will always remain with us. Gabriele vive.